She blamed her fiance for the weird scratches on her daughter's face. The truth was more sinister. This is a story about a mother who was willing to do everything for her daughter. She started to notice that there was something strange going on in her own home. There were noises at night, but the worst part was yet to come. She thought that her fiancé was behind it, but was it true? This woman finally had the evidence in her hand. The only thing left to do was to watch the footage. However, she was in for a shock. The baby monitor was located in the room of her daughter, but what it revealed had them reeling. She knew that her daughter was not scratching herself, but her fiancé said that he was not responsible for the scratches. She hit play and assumed that she was going to catch Joshua. However, she started to realize that the truth was far stranger than that. If this was not her fiancé in the video, who could it possibly be? Heather Brow and Joshua Higgins had been living in a Michigan guest house owned by his mom. The couple had a lovely 1-year-old girl called Lily. The family had been the tenants of that place for over a year. However, they wanted to move out right after they watched the footage. The story began when Heather brought her baby out of the crib. This mom was shocked to see scratches on her face. Heather brushed it off after that first time. However, she started to get more worried when the scratches healed and returned again. It was time to talk to Joshua, she thought. In those days, the couple had a great relationship together. Heather and Joshua were a young couple living in a small town. All of their dreams were coming true, and all was well. They were in love with each other and had a lovely baby girl. They had a cozy home to call their own as well. Heather had been asleep when she was awakened by strange noises. She heard thuds on the floor, doors squealing, and the sounds of footsteps. You can chalk these things to the house settling, but this did not explain one mystery. What gave her daughter those scratches on her face? She talked to Joshua, her fiancé, about whether he had been getting up at night. She also asked him if he entered their daughter's room last night. Heather also brought up the topic of the scratches with him. Was this going to mark the beginning of the end for them? Things started to get tense between the lovebirds when Joshua denied everything. Heather knew that the only way to get him to confess was to catch him. She did not know the truth was even worse than what she had in mind. However, she could no longer live like this and had to do something about it. Her fiancé said that it was not him, which made Heather wonder if she was simply imagining things. She wondered if there was an animal that got inside the house. However, this did not seem plausible since she closed the doors and windows every night. This meant that it was something or someone in the house. Heather was worried that this would mean the end for her and Joshua, but she needed to get to the bottom of things. The couple at last agreed to get a baby monitor so that they could see what was going on. They made sure that the camera was focused on the crib in the room. Joshua said that Lily was probably just scratching herself. After all, it's not unheard of for babies to graze their faces while they're sleeping. Heather made sure to cut Lily's nails after that first incident for this reason. This did not prevent it from happening again. Even though she was confused, Heather was unprepared to learn the truth. She wanted to figure out what was happening, which is the reason they arranged it all. The couple bought a state-of-the-art monitor known as Logitech Circle 2. This gadget has night vision, which is vital in solving this mystery. After this, they found scratches on their daughter's face once more. They decided to watch the video so that they could finally know what was causing this. After watching the video, Heather started to feel scared right in her own home. She saw the blurry figure of a man in the bedroom of her daughter. Heather thought that her theory was right. It looked like Joshua really had been going around the house while she was asleep. She wanted to know why he decided to keep something like this a secret. Was he pulling a prank on her? Could he be sleepwalking without knowing it? She did not know, but she decided to keep watching the footage to get a clue. However, Heather did not expect to see what happened next. As the grainy shadow walked past the crib, Lily sat upright after sensing someone there. She was holding the side of the crib and pulled herself into a standing position. Lily looked around. The man then turned towards the monitor. At this point, Heather was already aware that there was no way this could be Joshua. But who else could it be? Her breath stopped and her scalp prickled. She could feel her heart beating louder after realizing that he was a stranger. Still, this mom refused to take her eyes off the screen. She kept them locked on this intruder instead. The stranger kept roaming around the house. Heather watched in fear. She was, of course, wondering just who this man might be. This explained all the noises that Heather kept hearing at night, as well as the scratches on her daughter's face. Heather watched the video footage again and again. There was one moment in which the man became completely transparent while moving by Lily. After she took note of this, Heather realized that this might not be an actual human. The thought sent chills down her spine. This mom pulled Lily closer to her. She had to talk to Joshua about it. More importantly, they had to move out right away. He watched the clip and said it was chilling. It was literally a chill down your spine, like that what if factor. Is this what I just saw? She admitted. Seeing Lily's face with the scratches was so bizarre and frightening. The poor mother narrated, I was crying. What happened to you? I grabbed her jacket and ran over to my mother-in-law's house. Nobody knew what happened. We wondered if she'd scratched herself, but when we put her hands up to the scratches, it did not match up. Joshua watched the footage. Like his partner, a chill went down his spine as well. He could feel a ball of terror in his stomach. Totally terrified, he decided that they had to leave as soon as they could. Gasping, he ran outside with the girls and made a call to the police. He got referred to the Scientific Paranormal Investigations of Michigan, but what they told him only made him panic some more. Mike Priest, the co-owner of the Scientific Paranormal Investigations of Michigan, had a team go to the house for an investigation. What did they find out? What the team said only made the couple more determined to move out. After reviewing the evidence, the experts claimed that the main house was haunted. Not only that, but the guest house was also filled with paranormal activity. Apparently, there were more weird occurrences in the house. During one interview, Heather explained, I woke up to get ready for work one morning and it felt like someone was choking me. She followed it by saying, it shook me to the point where I decided to buy our camera. Heather could tell that Joshua would not believe her, which is why she did not tell him about it. There have been times where I and my fiance would wake up in the morning and I would hear an angry male voice, like someone had stubbed their toe, she shared. I definitely believe something is going on at that house, shared Mike Priest. We are looking forward to checking out this one as well. According to this expert, he and his colleagues managed to record weird sounds in the house after the initial investigation they conducted. We heard someone say, oh, here we go, oh yeah. I heard it as plain as day, recounted Mike Priest. His team is due to come back to the house so that they can conduct a proper paranormal investigation. Mike said that they plan to see if the footage can be replicated. If not, maybe they can find a logical explanation for what happened. They need to do this before they call it paranormal activity. He wants to figure out what the camera actually recorded. Chris is the mother of Joshua. She has been the owner of that house for 11 years. Does she know anything that could explain what the couple experienced? She said, I was told when we bought the houses 11 years ago, the lady who owned the property died in the main house. It's an old farmhouse, and according to her niece, she fell down the stairs, broke her hips, and laid there for a very long time before she passed away. She said that the guest house was built for the lady's brother who was schizophrenic, Chris said. Another theory was put forward by Jim, Joshua's dad. He feels that the being haunting the guest house is an old tenant. Jim spoke to WXYZ-TV Detroit and shared his thoughts. The gentleman that lived here originally jumped out his window, which is one story down. Even though Joshua and Heather have yet to find out what they actually caught on camera, they already know what they should do next. It scares us that it could do something else, she said. She went on, it's not physically just going after her, it feels like it's going after me too. This has made us want to leave as soon as possible. As soon as possible, we're out of here. This is a spirit. I don't know what his intentions are, but at this point, it's becoming physically harmful. Heather and Joshua decided to post the video on social media. It went viral and scared a lot of viewers. However, some people decided to treat the story with a grain of salt. These people did not think that the video caught an apparition. Read on to find out what their theories about the footage. Kenny Biddle of the Skeptical Inquirer gave his 2 cents. There's something else I noticed right away. The ghost was casting a shadow, actually, two. This tells me the figure is a solid physical object, able to reflect light. In the first milliseconds of the video, as a figure is moving to the left, you can see its shadow move across the ceiling right by the ceiling fan. I would surmise either Heather and or Joshua had been watching television and had reason to get up out of bed, perhaps go down to the kitchen for a drink or food, or a visit to the bathroom. Paused the video and walked across the room, not realizing they were being recorded, he went on. Kenny said at a later unspecified time they reviewed the footage and due to a lack of understanding of video cameras, concluded the distorted figure was a ghost. Let us see what he has to say about the scratches. Aside from the technical issues, it is not uncommon for babies to scratch themselves. We know from her statements that Heather discovered the scratches after waking up the baby from a nap, Kenny said, but there's nothing to rule out the possibility Lily scratched herself while sleeping. After doing more research into the story, the writer found out a relevant piece of news. I'm not sure exactly what the motivation behind these claims is, but I do have my suspicions, he shared. I went to Heather Bro's Facebook page earlier today and noticed that she posted her first public post since November of 2018. It was a link to a GoFundMe account she had created that day, March 26, 2019, with a goal of $5,000. She was asking for this amount to help her move out of the guest house, citing her daughter's safety from all the paranormal activity as the main reason for the fundraising. He expounded. Kenny tried to reach out to the family by sending Heather a Facebook message. Hello, my name is Kenny Biddle, and I've been investigating paranormal claims for the last 20+ years. Your video of what is believed to be a ghost walking in your house was brought to my attention by several paranormal groups, he told her. After taking a look at it, I was wondering if there was a longer clip, perhaps footage showing the few minutes leading up to and including the clip that was shared on ABC Action News. The clip that has been shared starts with the figure already in motion, and I was hoping to see where it originates, the message went on. Kenny added, I noticed the TV was on, so being able to confirm it wasn't something living, watching TV, and perhaps got up to get something, would be beneficial. I'm not saying this was a hoax, I'm just trying to get as much information as possible to understand what the video is showing. I appreciate your time in reading this. I hope to hear back from you soon. Have a good day. Kenny said that he has yet to hear back from Heather. It turns out that this is not the only story about a haunted kid. This time, the story took place in Illinois. A 32-year-old mother of two by the name of Maritza Elizabeth was convinced that she saw a ghost baby in the crib. After putting her 18-month-old child to sleep, she started to get ready for bed as well. When she checked in on her child via the baby monitor, she saw something weird. She saw that her son was curled up next to the face of a different baby. Of course, she started to panic. What was going on? She did not know what to do but stayed glued to the screen of the monitor. The entity seemed to be fixated on her son. She was frozen in place as she tried to figure out what steps to take in this situation. Was her little boy in danger? Was the spirit going to hurt him? What could Maritza do to help him? She was unable to get any sleep. This mom decided to investigate on her own while her baby was asleep. It makes a lot of sense that she wanted to learn more about that spirit that joined her son in the crib. With a flashlight in hand, she got to work. When Maritza talked to the local news, she explained, I even tried creeping in there with a flashlight while my son was sleeping. But what happened when she went into the room? Was she able to find the ghostly being? This scared mom shared her experience with the internet. She showed a photo of what she saw on the monitor and added this caption to it. So last night I was positive there was a ghost baby in bed with my son. I was so freaked out I barely slept. This mom told Yahoo Lifestyle UK, I didn't see anything unusual in the crib at all. I was trying to feel around to see if there was any wetness. We thought there might be some drool on the sheet, but I didn't feel any. I told myself maybe it was just a stain on the sheet and left the room. I probably went in there about 3 more times throughout the night, she said. If that does not sound bad enough, it turned out that her husband had been working all night. It meant that she was the only adult in the house. I kept opening my eyes to check to make sure the ghost wasn't moving. Then when I would start to finally relax, my son would roll over and I'd be on high alert again. Every time I checked on him, though, he seemed completely fine, Maritza explained to one of the news outlets. Her son was not feeling very well at the time. She had to be careful to avoid waking him up as she tried to investigate. When she could not figure out what was going on, she decided to just return to bed. In the morning, she went to the room to finally figure out what was going on. What did she really see on the monitor? She made her way to the room and then opened the blinds. What did she find over there? As soon as I went into the room and opened the blinds, it was so obvious there was something under the sheets. I pulled down the sheets and see this giant baby face looking up at me, she said. What? She found out that the ghost baby was only a tag on the mattress. Phew. It turns out that her spouse just forgot to add a mattress topper on the bed when he took out the sheets. What a relief to hear that. Maritza was shocked. She had a hard time sleeping after seeing that, but it turned out to be such a small thing. She decided to vent on Facebook and posted the story in a mom's group. She added the photo she took the previous night, as well as a photo of the baby mattress. What did others say about it? It is not a surprise to hear that the other moms on the Facebook group thought it was hilarious. They told her to make it public so that they could share it with their other friends. Maritza obliged. When she talked about the entire ordeal, it was clear she was not thrilled with her husband. Maritza even said, "I could kill him." The post has since gone viral. Hundreds of thousands of people were amused to hear about the mistake. A lot of users said that they would have been scared as hell as well. A user even said, "I'd be going in the room with a cross, some salt, and a gun, scooping up my baby and getting them right out of there." When Maritza told her husband about it, he just laughed. To shed more light on the matter, Maritza explained that he changed the sheets after their little angel woke up crying and wet. However, his mistake was that he forgot to reinstall the mattress protector. In the end, the post got nearly 500,000 reactions. It fetched 300,000 comments as well. One user said, "I'm screaming." Another said, "That looks so creepy." Other folks kept it simple by simply saying LOL. What else did she have to say about the mix-up? I couldn't even believe the response and couldn't have imagined that it would spread so far beyond my friends. She said that there was one more thing that other moms would understand. It was my husband's fault, she shared. I still blame my husband.